the best system fits for this Warriors team, aka who fits around Steph Curry best. No, there are other things to consider when you talk about this Warriors system, right? You have to think about guys that fit well next to Draymond and his skill set as well. And then Steve Kerr, his tendencies, the types of players he likes, and even Bob Myers has a type of guy that he goes after. And I want to credit one of my patrons, Ranveer, asked me this question about a week ago. Who are your top 10 system fits for this team? And I was like, hey, that's a good question, man. I'm going to have to get back to you and perhaps in a video. So here we are. I will give you my top 5 system fits today. And then if you guys like this type of video, maybe we'll do another 5 and I'll give you my top 10. Now, I'm not including star players because I think by nature, most stars are talented enough to fit into a system. I know some guys don't, right? But you like Paul George, does he fit with the Warriors? Yeah. Right? And so we're going to eliminate star players as well as high-priced players. So if you're making 20 mil per, you're not on this list, right? You're not a role player, so we're going to look at the role players here. Before I get into my list, please hit the subscription and hit the notification bell. I'm covering stuff that I don't think you're hearing much on other YouTube channels. Yeah, we're talking Warriors. A lot of people talk Warriors, talk hoops. We'll cover some of the main subjects, but the way I approach it as far as skill sets, the details of the game, as well as the psychological factors with these players and in the approach of the sport, I think it's a unique coverage of the game. So again, if you haven't already, hit the subscription and the notification bell. All right, let's get into my top 5 system fits for this Warriors team. Number 1, PJ Tucker. A player that's been really a thorn in the Warriors side for almost a decade now. And also a player I believe the Warriors have tried to acquire on several occasions, but our rivals, I think, have done a good job making sure he didn't fall into our hands because of how good of a system fit he is for this Warriors team. Corner 3-point specialist, switchable power forward / center. He can play some small forward too, right? He can switch across all front court positions. Super strong hands, probably the strongest hands we've seen in the league since Ron Artest when it comes to gooning the ball out of people's hands, right? And then he's an intangibles guy. He's a foxhole guy, a guy you want on your team in high pressure, big game situations. Brings a toughness, a physicality, and it goes without saying, right? He's going to be able to schematically switch all these defensive positions, and then you could play him alongside Draymond or Kevon because, again, you can spread the floor with him in the corners. The other appealing aspect when you look at the Warriors system is, hey, you only take 2 or 3 shots, only take the wide open ones. That's just fine when you look at all the shooting the Warriors possess. And even at this stage in his career, I think they would more than welcome him with open arms. I do want to make this clear. This list is not trade targets. I'm not saying that there's any possible way to acquire these guys. They're such high value guys that these teams aren't giving them up. It's more of system fit. Number 2, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP. I've been a fan of him since his Detroit days. The prototypical 3-and-D player, but plays with just an elite motor, a super high energy that I think can elevate your team when you are looking for energy. You see how capable he is at shooting the 3 ball. Offensively, what I really like about him is his abilities to attack out of the corner. When you look at the Warriors system, he's not going to be on ball, right? He's going to be operating out of the corners and from the weak side where he can attack closeouts, shoot the 3, and then defensively, he's got the length to guard up, and then he's got the quickness to guard down. He's very good at fighting through screens, and he just puts up a fight and plays with an energy, a joy for the game. Has a high enough IQ that in this Warrior system, he would flourish. He's one of these guys where he's moved around the league quite a bit, but it's because he's such a great fit in so many different systems and with so many different players, and he's absolutely flourishing in Denver, playing within that Jokic system where he's shooting 46% from three. Yeah, that's right. And it's not on low volume. He's playing 31 minutes a game. Oh yeah, by the way, he flourished alongside LeBron and got himself a bubble ring. And so he, to me, is one of the more underrated players in this league when you look at value in a 3-and-D wing. Number 3, Josh Hart, who is in the mold and the same prototype as KCP, but he does things a little differently. He's a little more unique in the sense of he is arguably the best rebounding guard in the league. He's just phenomenal at rebounding. He can play a little point, right? You could put him on the ball. I wouldn't call him the defender KCP is, but he's just a little more dynamic offensively, and he's going to bring a toughness, a high IQ, and I think he's really been a connector from Chauncey to the team as far as changing the culture to being much more defensive-minded in Portland. As for the Warriors, think Damian Lee, only a little more talented, a little more athletic, a lot deeper voice, right? But hit timely shots, just do all the little things, and then understand who he is as a player. He's a role player, and he's a very good one at that. Josh Hart. Number 4, Maxi Kleber. Stretch, power forward, can play some center, some small ball 5 for you. And he's just got a super dynamic skill set. He's one of the more underrated players in the league, in my opinion. Protects the rim, blocks shots, shoots the 3, has vertical spacing, right? And is just a high IQ role player that Dallas has locked down here probably for his entire career, right? He's from Dirk's hometown, so they have that connection. But he's a guy that you could slot in right behind Draymond or right behind Looney and would give the Warriors more athleticism, more three-point shooting. And look, he's not the banger or the physical player that Looney or Draymond is, but it would be a nice contrast to those other two guys, but would still allow the Warriors to spread the floor out, play fast, and play that traditional small ball. So Maxi Kleber, been a big fan of his for a long time as well. But again, I don't think Dallas is letting him go anytime soon. I guess the problem with him has always been durability. Because he's kind of a high wire act and he challenges a lot of shots, he's always chipped up. But within this Warriors system, no doubt he would flourish with all the ball movement, pace, and space. Number 5, Kelly Olynyk. Now, I had a hard time deciding between he and young Terrence Mann of the Clippers, but I felt like I already did Hart and KCP, and Mann was too similar, so I added another big in Kelly Olynyk, a player I had just talked about in a proposed James Wiseman trade. Now, the reason why he's number 5 and he's so far down on this list is because he isn't the defender that the Warriors would want, right? Offensively, he's everything and more, and I think in theory, his offense and fit within the system would be so good, it would be worth the squeeze defensively because he still would he takes charges, he's scrappy. It's not like he doesn't put up any resistance defensively, but he is a guy that will get picked on the defensive end come playoff time. But again, offensively, there's times where he can be the hub of your offense, of your second unit, the way he passes, dribbles, and shoots. And then he's another foxhole guy, right? We talked about it. He's going to do every little thing he can to compete and get an advantage. And when it's go time, any team wants that type of mindset. So Kelly Olynyk, number 5 on my system fits for the Warriors. So what y'all think? Did I leave somebody out? Leave your top system fits in the comments. I'm out, y'all.